I'm Mark Tuschman, and I'm here at Photo Central in Hayward, California. I've basically photographed and interviewed well over 100 immigrants from all walks of life, from the undocumented to those seeking asylum, DACA recipients, those with all different levels of visas, and finally to those with full citizenship. As a photographer, I really believe in the power of images and narratives and stories. One can argue endlessly about politics to no avail, and one can easily disregard or manipulate facts, but one can't ignore or disregard a person's life story. We really are a nation of immigrants, and unless you're a native born or you came here involuntarily as a slave, you could look at your own genealogy and either you or your grandparents or further back in your ancestry, they all came to America for the same reason. It was to escape fear and persecution, to build a better life for themselves, to educate their children, and to live in freedom and democracy. And that's why people are coming now. Fahria Khan, who's your president of the Fremont Education Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for coming on this afternoon to really honor the work that Mark has done. Thank you, Mark, for allowing us to tell our story, to tell my story, for everyone who's been pictured, their stories. And I really want to kind of stress the importance that it's all of our stories. It's not just my story, it's not just Boshmi, it's not just Sandeep, it's all of us. You can find some kind of common ground in every single story that you read in the art exhibit. And it's important to really remember that we are so much more alike than we are different. I was born in Bangladesh. I came here when I was 2 years old. That's why I don't have an accent. I grew up in Arizona. And I'm obviously Muslim. You know, Boshmi mentioned that, you know, when her son's friend's dad came, he didn't know that she was Muslim, but you can see that I'm Muslim. And I often feel like I have a target on my back. And I feel that I have the burden of 1 billion people on my shoulders. When people see me, they judge my fellow Muslims. And that's a really heavy burden to carry. After the 2016 election, and I spent about 2 weeks crying, and then, you know, I picked myself off the ground, and I decided, well, I really need to get involved in my community. I really need to show people that Muslims, especially Muslim women who wear hijab, that we are not invisible. We are not oppressed. We are not suppressed. We are not repressed. And so that's why I chose, actually, in the last election cycle to run for school board in Fremont. And I pretty much had 3 strikes against me: my skin color, my religion, and my gender. And as a Muslim woman who wears hijab, it takes a lot to run for office because I was scrutinized on every word that I posted, every speech that I made. I was asked all sorts of questions that other candidates were not asked. A lot of people posted hate messages on my Facebook page. It was actually on the news. People called me names on my Facebook page. They sent me private messages. They posted publicly. And one person told me, he said, someone who looks like me cannot be a role model for our children. Someone who looks like me. And he specifically said religious garb. And I mean, that whole experience was very traumatizing. And when I look at me, I mean, today I'm wearing a more traditional outfit. Normally I'm dressed like everyone else, I just have a scarf on. But how am I different from you? I'm an American. I grew up here, I serve my community, I volunteer in my community, I raise my kids here. I try and raise them to be positively, to really impact their community positively on a daily basis. How am I different from any of you? I want to serve my community, I love my country. And that's why I wanted to run for school board, is because I want to serve our students. And so luckily a lot of people came to my defense on this particular post when this particular person wrote nasty things about me. But overall it was very traumatizing, and I think that it's really important for people who look like me, young girls who look like me, who wear hijab, young Muslimas, to really make their voice be heard. I don't want them to be afraid. I want them to learn from my experience, and I want them to go out there and be able to stand up and say what they need to say and really show everyone that we belong in this country. So thank you very much for coming. I'm going to keep my speech short, so thank you for this opportunity.